What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Siouxsie the Banshees. Once again, major shout out to friend and champion of the channel, Nicola. And the next track on Juju, 1981, is Night Shift. My immediate thought is the idea of a shift at a job or occupation where you're working, past standard hours, late night into the early morning, beyond the hours that most people go to sleep, but before the hours that most people wake up, which, as a night owl myself, I am very sympathetic toward those who live that slightly altered or shifted schedule. But yeah, ultimately it could be a play on words. It might not be related to a night shift in that context. And I've heard enough of their songs so far to know that there's often a critique, a sting, a barb in the lyrics, whether more personally directed or more, directed at larger entities and so on. So yeah, I am intrigued to hear how this phrase might play and whether it'll be the more standard usage or whether there'll be a clever twist to it. So let's find out. This is Siouxsie and the Banshees. The tune is Night Shift, and it's from the 1981 album Juju. crazy. There's been a couple times along the way, over the course of what now, like an album and a half, where I've been like, man, I think this group that I listened to 20 years ago, Ayahuasca, it feels like they must have been inspired by Siouxsie and the Banshees. And then as this song started, I'm thinking, man, like a young Garbage may have been listening to this song, because it just feels like you can hear some stylings that I've heard already over the course of a handful of Garbage tunes, which I realize we're talking, more than a decade later. But it's like by the end, it's like, man, it's just, that, like, it has to be Siouxsie and the Banshees, because it's like, I can hear seeds of things that I would hear in different groups, or I'm hearing, like I've mentioned before, sometimes I hear Cocteau Twins songs, and it's like, man, I feel like a similar vibe, but like they really have their own flavor. Again, like I've only heard an album and a half, but it's just like so many songs from their catalog feel like it's like this monstrous haunted tune in a graveyard with wicked sounds, but it's somehow like darkly compelling at the same time. And yeah, ultimately, like losing my mind with you, like heaven and hell with you, it seems very drastic, extreme, one way or the other, maybe both. And yeah, so I'm not quite sure, like, why she's waiting for the night shift. But in that sense, it did sound like, at least, in some context, a usage in the sense usually meant by that. But it certainly sounded like a haunted, in the middle of the night / morning type of tune. So yeah, not quite sure what's going on thematically. I look forward to hearing what people have to say, but once again, just love the darkly compelling sonics of this group, and looking forward to the longer journey. Which again, there's solo Siouxsie in the folder. There's Creatures, which we'll cross those bridges when we get there. But yeah, looking forward to the larger journey of this artist that I may have vaguely heard of going into this, but ultimately, this is like uncharted territory for me. This is not a group that I ever remember listening to when I was younger. So yeah, once again, big shout out to Nicola. Let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.